Evening all. So this is video 4, and video 4's title is The Night My Family Was Torn Apart, and it's going to talk about mum and dad's separation. And like I said, this video is going to be slightly different to the previous 3, and that's because I've got my brother Peter sat at the side of me. He's my older brother, you can tell, can't you? Of course. And I just thought that it might be nice for you guys to hear it from his point of view as well as mine. Peter is very much a closed book. He doesn't talk about his feelings very much, or he finds it very difficult. And I know this might be difficult for him, and I'm proud of him for sort of agreeing to do it with me. So I'll pass you over to Peter.
Hiya, I'm Peter Speak. I'm Helen's older brother. About 18 months older than Helen. I was born in Halifax in 1976, which makes me coming up 43 in maybe about 2 weeks' time. I've lived in Scarborough for 20 years, since we moved away from Keighley due to my ex-wife getting involved with some Asian guys who were dealing heroin, and they ended up committing some murders in Keighley, and we moved away due to that. I've been married twice. I have a son to my first wife, who was, prior to moving to Scarborough, called Tom. He's 22 in January. I've got 3 more children to my second wife, Cheryl Lee. Katie, who's 20 in January. Ellie, who's 16 in May. And Kai, who's 13 in January. I've been having quite a lot of problems with my own family life, so I just thought it might be good to come on here and chat with my sister and make people aware, really. And yeah, sorry, and my partner that I'm currently with now, I've got a little boy too called Adam. He's 3 in February. I'm just going to comment on video 3, to be honest. I've commented on the other 2 videos, but I didn't get to comment on video 3, which was mum's hair loss. What I remember from mum and losing her hair and having alopecia, in our house it was forbidden, really, to talk about it. I don't think anybody much outside of our house, maybe even some aunties and uncles, wouldn't have even been aware that mum had alopecia even. Helen was a little bit younger than me, so maybe knew even less, but because it was so untalked about, even mum didn't talk to me much, but I had seen her without a wig on and things like that, which was rather strange. You know, seeing that for the first time, not knowing, trying to understand, being young. You know, in 1976 I was born, so if that started when I was 4, 1980, it was like AIDS would be seen back when that first come out, and everybody thought she was a bit mad or mental, or she didn't want anybody to see her any different than me or you, or me and my sister, or anybody else out there. Moving on to tonight, to video 4, which is The Night My Family Was Torn Apart. I'm just going to set the scene, really, and I'm going to pass you back over to Helen. As she was a little bit younger and sees it from a younger side, I'm going to let Helen tell you what she remembers, and then I'll see what I can remember from that night. I can remember it was a very cold night, winter's night, dark night, about similar time of year to now. It was a very special occasion. I'm going to pass you back over to Helen.
So mum had at this time got a little job, and at first she started off part-time, and then it went full-time, and then there was quite a bit of overtime, and if she was doing overtime, I think that would go on till about 7 o'clock. points throughout, you know, the year, there would be quite a lot of overtime because of the job that she did. So it was quite normal for her sometimes to not come home. But this in particular night, I can remember sat waiting for her and sat waiting for her. And as me, I thought my dad was concerned. I thought he was anxious. Normally, if she'd done overtime, she'd get the bus home. So she'd finish at 7, and then I don't know what time the bus would be. So she might not be home till 8 o'clock. And I think sometimes I didn't see her if she did overtime, because I'd already been in bed. But this in particular night, I'd not gone to bed. I just sat waiting and waiting, and I could feel Dad getting anxious and anxious, or what I thought was anxious, you know, and worry. And I thought that he thought that maybe she had an accident or something. I can remember us going in the car, driving to her work. I can't remember whether Dad went in or whether everything was shut or closed up or whatever. So that just made Dad's sort of anxiety a little bit worse. And I can remember driving to Longley and going to somebody's house. Then I remember going home, and I remember Dad, I was still up and it was getting later and later, well past my bedtime. And Dad kept going out and he kept walking to the top of the street because our bus stop was just directly across the road at the top of our street. And she didn't come and she didn't come. And then finally she did come. And I'd not gone to sleep by this time. I was in bed, and I just remember arguing, screaming and shouting at each other, bickering, calling each other out names under the sun. I can remember, you know, as a kid, like you would do, putting the pillow over my head to try and stop it, to try and drown them out, putting my head into the pillow. You know, I was crying for hours and hours. It went on for hours and hours. And that's really my memories about that night. So, Peter, can you expand on that?
I can a little bit, yes. As far as I can remember, it was the 7th of December 1987, which would have been my 11th birthday. We were all supposed to be going out for a meal. It was a special occasion. We arranged to go out for a meal. I can't remember the time. I think Mum was due to finish work at maybe 6 or 7. So the meal would have been booked for, you know, my dad would have known roughly what time she was getting off the bus, and it would have been booked for, you know, half an hour after. If we had to travel for 20 minutes, it would have been booked for half an hour after she got off the bus. So probably booked to go out at 8 o'clock maybe, 7:30, something like that. I think Ellen's got a little bit jumbled up. I think some of that's right from that night, and I think some of it is from after. But I remember spending a lot of time that night in the garage crying, wondering what I'd done, wondering why Mum hadn't come home for my birthday to go out. I was very, very upset. I remember Ellen crying. I think she cried herself to sleep. I stayed awake a lot longer that night. The arguing did get really, really bad. Probably to the stage where they were arguing, probably fighting even a little bit. I think I even went into the living room and asked him to stop it. Quite late. And I remember my crying, a bit like that, same as Helen. For me, that night changed my life because I wasn't the kid that got battered anymore. It all changed for me. My dad worked funny hours, and so that night changed my life and changed my relationship with my mum as well. But that's for another night. Looking at it now from an adult's point of view, I don't blame my dad for that night. My mum was in the wrong. My mum probably didn't want to leave without us, so there was probably a confrontation. Being an adult, I look at it a little bit different. My dad didn't want us to go. I'm a dad. I'm that dad now in that situation. My kids are here, I'm not seeing them. I love them to be here, I miss them. So there was probably a confrontation. My mum probably felt as though she had no choice, she was in the wrong, she had to go. And that's where I'll leave it, I think, there.
I didn't know. I didn't know that my dad knew that my mum were having an affair. I just thought, for all these years, I've just thought that he found out that night. But obviously, for it now, when I remember going and driving to Longley and going to somebody's house, that somebody's house was actually the house of the man who my mum was having an affair with.
Yeah, he did catch them that night. Later on, it was up and down. Like I said, I spent a lot of the night in the garage crying. So very, very upset. And I probably didn't want to get caught in the middle of another beating, so I was probably worried about what was going to happen to me. It was my birthday, but I was blaming myself. But then, if they were starting arguing, Mum came in a bad mood, I didn't want to be in the way and catch another good hiding, so I probably stayed out of the way for most of it. But I heard a lot later and stuff after you, because you were asleep, so I probably come in and you were asleep. And it was quite bad. But he caught him kissing, I think, in the car, which was so stupid, and she got caught red-handed. I think I even knew that, sort of seen that or heard him, saying when she come in, so I probably heard car. My window was at that side of the house, so maybe if I even looked out, it might be the car myself because I was awake.
It breaks my heart because I didn't know that it was Peter's birthday, and to now look back and know that, I don't recall it, I don't remember it, I just remember that night. So it breaks my heart to know that my mum would do something so cruel on his birthday. It really does. And obviously, Mum had gone. And then we had that dreaded conversation. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The dreaded conversation. Yeah. Who do you want to live with? Heartbreaking. I know my dad probably won't see it like this, but I can remember him saying, in one sense, look, it's up to you who you want to live with. He asked us, but in the meantime, he did actually say, but this wouldn't be happening if your mum hadn't have had an affair and your mum hadn't have done this and your mum hadn't have done that. But you did, Dad. But it didn't matter what we said, which parent we would have said we wanted to live with. We were going to hurt one of them, no matter what we decided. And to put a kid through that is awful. I just can remember, I just didn't know what to do. I felt so guilty.
I don't think we had a right lot of choice at that point, because because I don't think Mum had anywhere to live really. So I think we were sort of in a, you know, I'm not blaming anybody. It was just that was just the situation. That was just the way it was. Yeah, but we did get asked. But I think we also both we sort of knew Mum were wrong, so I suppose we felt obliged maybe at that age. You know, I don't know. You know, it's hard to say now because you see it differently now than you would have done then as well. So it's hard to say.
Yeah,
For definite.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, that's the top and bottom really of that night, and Mum having an affair and leading to Mum leaving. Anyway, the decision that we both made that night or that day that Dad asked us, well, we both decided to stay with my dad, as you might have picked up. Anyway, you know, as far as that night goes, we'll leave it there. But how have you ever been cheated on, Peter?
Yeah, a few times. A few times. But I have done it as well, so I can't. You know, we've all been young. We've all been stupid. I'm now 43 years old nearly, and your opinions and your world's changed, don't they? You know, when you've got kids and kids of your own, you're trying to bring kids up. You know, in a modern day world now, you know, it's still not as easy for them as it was for us when we were kids.
How do you think it's impacted your life now as an adult, and you know your views on family and things?
I think when I got married first time, I thought we were going to be for life, and you want the ideal family, mum, dad, stay together for 60 years, have a boy and a girl, and that's what family was, and that was the idealistic family when we were growing up, but it's not realistic now in this day and age.
It wasn't the norm, was it? Even going to school, you know, back then when it happened. I mean, we lived in a small village, as I've explained, so we went to the village school.
Yeah.
You know, there were, say, 30 kids in a class, and there would have been probably no more than 5 families. You know, I can't say for definite, but it split families, you know, it wasn't the norm. It just wasn't known then. It didn't happen. You know, so again, I think that probably had an impact on us, making us feel different.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Um,
I think it has to with OCD as well a little bit, you know, cleaning and just having stuff in particular ways. I'm not as bad now with the amount of children we've got. I mean, I've got 5 children altogether and 3 step girls. And I did have shared care of all the children, and my eldest son and 2 grandchildren live here. So we've got quite a big family now especially now Ellen's come to Scarborough. You know, yeah, but yeah, it has had an impact, yes. I certainly feel like I certainly want to be close to my kids because they're all my world, because there's nobody, we haven't got a big family circle around us. There's, you know, my dad's my dad and we're close now, but not mega close, are we? Do you know?
I'm probably closer to him than what you are. But
so we've just always been there for each other. We've had to be from that day really.
Well, younger than that really.
Well, yeah, but certainly from that night, from my mum leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Have I ever been cheated on? Yes, I have. Have I ever cheated? Yes, I have. I cheated because I found out he'd done it to me, and 2 wrongs don't make a right, and it didn't make me feel better in any way, shape or form. it actually made me feel worse in the long run. Would I cheat now? No, I wouldn't. Not when I'm with somebody, but I have been with people who have been in relationships. It's not right. But that sort of comes into other things and about the way that I felt about myself as I got older, which will come out maybe in later videos. You know, so if anybody can relate to, you know, the parents separating and how it was for them, you know, please comment, please get in touch, please like and share our video. You know, how do you feel now, Pete, that you've done this video? Because I know you must have been a bit nervous about it.
I don't know really. I'll see what comments there are in a few days and just have a read through and see what's, you know, see what comes back really. But it's something I never thought I'd do. The fact that you'd asked me, and that John Bailey had suggested it to you. John's a good friend of mine, Jimmy Vaughan's a good friend of mine, and Mark Williams I also know from school. So these three lads are all good lads from Keighley, who all know me really, really well. And I class them all as good lads, good friends, especially Jimmy and John. So it was nice of them to suggest that I come on and do this. I think it was a perfect time for me to come in, with it being my birthday. But this happened. I think it was a perfect time for me to come in and maybe jump in on the next few, you know, where it involves me a little bit. And then obviously when Ellen moves on to her, she can move on to her. I may do some videos on my own about things that have happened to me since coming to Scarborough. I was about 23, something like that, 20 years ago. So yeah, I was about 23 when I came to Scarborough, so I'll maybe do something from around about then. You know, so I'm going forwards to then, and then I'll start my own from there, but we'll see. But it's nice to talk to everybody. I hope you're looking on us again. I hope you can learn something, or if you've got similar experiences, want to talk, give us a shout. You know, that's what we're here for. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah, we all have to support each other. And the first, you know, road to sort of any sort of recovery is to be able to be open and honest, and that's really, you know, what we're trying to get people to do and what have you. So yeah, thank you for listening, and see you soon.